Alright, so here's the first draft of the kitchen. There's a lot of things here that are just placeholders. So the first thing you'll see is I have no idea what the floor will be. This is just a white oak pattern, so it's lighter. The other thing is the countertops are a black granite. We probably won't be able to get granite. Probably have to be a laminate of some sort, and so but we could get some sort of darker color, or maybe a lighter color would work. But what I do have is the alder walnut, and so it's not perfect in terms of the rendition of how this will look because it's a repeating pattern, so it wouldn't be quite as consistent as you see here. But here's the overall layout. So you've got the refrigerator, the entry into the pantry, canning kitchen, and then you've got the window wall, so the sink centered on the window, and then to the left of that, the entry into the house and out to the back porch. And on this side, we've got this was the wall that borders the master bath and the three-quarter bath. But on this wall, we have another set of cabinets, and so you've got the stove top and the oven. We'll talk about that in a minute. Island. So it looks silly because it has this gray wall, because there's going to be a 2x4 studded wall back there that the cabinets mount to, but this will all be enclosed in whatever the wood color is of the cabinets. For whatever reason, I can't specify that in the software to be the same color as the cabinets. So just imagine that as the same color as the cabinets. Okay, so starting over here, we have the sink cabinet. And so the sink cabinet, we love the fact that we have an inverted cabinet. A lot of times that we have a sink cabinet where it'd be a false front up here that doesn't do anything. But what you can do is put doors up here, and so when you open these doors, I think your cabinet, actually, come to think of it, is the same way. You've got a drawer at the bottom, so I think that'd be cool to do that again. And then over here is, I'm thinking you'd have a trash cabinet, and so I know you said that you want a dual tray or a dual compartment trash, so you have recycle and trash. We can do that. What I've drawn here is a big cabinet here for pull-out trash, which would be bigger, similar to the one that we have in our house. And then over here, you'd have another pull-out drawer for recyclables. And so that could be the whole height, or right now I have it as a little shorter with a drawer above it. And then this would be just a normal cabinet with a door and a drawer. We can reconfigure this so that it's a wider recycle bin and kind of use this whole spot to the left of the sink for trash and recycle if we want to make bigger use of that. On the right of the dishwasher, you have a full width drawer, 2 doors. Okay, and so if we look at it from this perspective, going into the canning kitchen, you'd have a nice doorway there. We have some cabinets above the refrigerator, and we can also put a panel on the side of the refrigerator to enclose that so it looks a little nicer. Okay, so that's that wall. This wall, you have 2 30-inch cabinets that are drawer door combinations, and I know you said you like the pull-out shelves, but you don't want them to be low. We can do a scoop, and I'll show you a different photo of that at a different time, but we can make the sides and the back taller and the front a little narrower. That's how I've done most kitchens after yours, the most recent way. So then the way I have this drawn is a wall oven. This black area here doesn't have a lot of detail, but this is where you could have a wall oven, and then we could do a stove top here. And then I have a 14-inch cabinet between the stove top and this wall oven to give you a little bit of counter space to the left and create a little bit of a barrier where there's not heat coming from this stove top to mess with the side of this cabinet. And then above it, it doesn't look like much right here. I have limited amount of things I can do inside the software, but this would be some sort of range hood and then probably a cabinet above it. And that's not how it looks right now. I just chose a wood hood, and that's what it gave me. But that's how that would be. And then so you have this little cabinet here to the left that matches the bottom cabinet, and then two upper cabinets the same size as these two base cabinets, 30 inches wide each. The other thing I'll note is you've got 9-foot ceiling, so where typically your cabinets are only 30 inches tall in most houses, these are drawn in at 42, so you've got an extra foot of height in the cabinet height. And then we have some above the oven cabinet, we have some doors up here with some shelving, and then below the cabinet or oven you'd have at least one, maybe two drawers, deep drawers, that would be here. And then again, we can also give you this pantry right here, the pantry cabinet to the left of the oven. It actually works out really well. If you did a wall oven, I was worried about it just looking weird to have just one vertical like this, but if you did that, we could do a 36-inch pantry cabinet to the left, and what you'd have is pull-out shelves or fixed shelves in this upper part, and then this lower part could be two really deep drawers for your pan storage and that kind of thing. And then we come over here to your island. I don't know if I can get a good view of it. Okay, so we've got a bank of drawers right in the center, and then a door combination flanking on each side. So lots of drawer storage here. You'll have an outlet in this island, probably an outlet on the end or underneath here or on the other end or all three. We can do whatever. But the biggest thing I guess I want to point out is with the wall oven and the pantry, you're limiting your amount of counter space over here. Now, we do have some extra wall here. You can see that we have unused area of wall. So this whole thing could be moved down, and we could add another base cabinet if we wanted this to come all the way to the end of this wall where the hallway is. The people who did our blueprints created a little bit of a cavity here, and so I don't know if there's a different function here, whether it's a freestanding piece of furniture or what, or whether we'd want to bring the kitchen all the way out another 30 or so inches to give you some more counter space and more cabinet space. But right now, I think the way it is you have a pretty good layout. I love that based on the way the doors come into play, we don't have to deal with any corner cabinets. Corner cabinets create, I don't know, I don't love the way corner cabinets work in terms of giving access to storage and whatnot. So I think that this is going to be really good with that exit to the porch, and then the way that this works over here with the canning kitchen. So really, really optimized kitchen. Now there are some really big spaces between your triangle. So you've got refrigerator, sink, stove, oven. It's a little expanded. space, but these are wide open areas for you to be able to navigate. When we get to the point, if we need to navigate in a wheelchair, you can still get around. It's just going to be a little more spread out, but I think it will allow for multiple people to be on there at the same time. Yeah. So, trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you about it. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good summary. All right. Let me know what you think.